build a culture of irreplaceability, trust, and listening to keep people on board and rowing together. Welcome to Post-COVID Leadership Advice. This series is all about building a workplace culture where people feel heard, supported, informed, and connected. This is a roadmap for leaders at any level, at any organization.
Handing back the 5%. So we all remember during COVID, we were at home all the time. We didn't spend any time commuting, going into our metros, taking our bikes to work, whatever it was. We saved that time. There was also nothing to do. There were no restaurants open. There were no bars open. There was only going for walks or doing online yoga. So there were very little things out there to distract us from our work. So our productivity went up about 5% measurably, but usually it's around 10% if you look at the non-measurables. So we took all the time that we spent commuting, all the time that we spent interacting with people in the office, having that nice lunch, the nice coffee, the nice sit down, the nice kind of pull aside, hey, I have your help. Can I have your help for a moment solving this little problem? And that sort of pull aside in the parking lot, that cost time. So we didn't have any of those things. We could just focus on our work, and our productivity went up. Now, we're expected to go back to the office. And what does that do to our productivity? Well, it certainly puts it under some pressure, to say the worst. When we work from home, let's say we work an 8-hour day from home, we have that entire 8 hours, including our commuting time, to just focus on our work. Now, when we work at the office, we have about, let's say, an hour and 15 minutes is the average commuting time per day that a person spends in transit to work, average. So that's 1 hour and a half. Then we have probably 1 to 2 hours a day in unplanned interruptions. These are things you weren't expecting. These are meetings, these are pull-asides, these are people asking for help, needing things, or just the fun stuff. Somebody's having a go-away party on the 4th floor. Nice, lovely. Take half an hour and have a donut with them. That's great, but it costs time. And guess what? That comes out of our work time. So in a typical office day, we spend about 11 hours total of commuting, unplanned interruptions, and the 8-hour day that we're expected to do. So what happens to our 5% that we went up during the COVID pandemic? Well, the expectation is that we still deliver all of that, because likely a lot of companies, they saw this increase in our productivity across the board, and they might have let people go because they have all this new productivity. We don't need all these people. So they let these people go. Well, guess what? Now we come back to the office again, and we're exposed to 11-hour days. We don't want to give up any of that productivity. Likely, there's nobody left to do it because they've been let go during the pandemic, or they quit during the Great Resignation. So how are we dealing with all this? Well, that's what happens with the high levels of burnout. We're expected to continue with this level of productivity and expected to be at the office at the same time. And that's what explains a lot of the burnout and a lot of the people saying, oh my God, I'm going insane, I quit, because my mental health is in danger here. So what's going to happen now? There might be a confrontation coming up where people have to return that 5%, which means the expectation that workload will have to be reduced in order to continue doing what we're doing. This might mean that a bargain will have to be made. So if the company culture expects proximity, expects 3 days a week, 4 days a week in the office, 2 days a week, whatever it is, the expectation is that the workload will have to be reduced to pre-pandemic levels, because if people are coming into the office, they are by necessity, by definition, less able to get their work done because of the other expectations and the other demands of a physical presence. So this will be a very careful negotiation, but it's a necessary one to reduce levels of burnout or resignations. So enjoy your 5%.
Thank you for being a part of this episode. Subscribe, follow, so you never have to miss another one. These ideas are based on the Comic Books for Executive series. Go to postcovidhandbook.com